Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It is Heart DFS. If you're new, I make daily NBA prize pick videos as well as daily NBA slate breakdowns on Draftkings. So definitely leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I do appreciate all your guys' support. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at HeartDFS. I'm going to be doing a giveaway tomorrow, most likely, based on prize picks. I'll talk more about that in tomorrow's videos. But, I put up extra prize pick plays, my DFS core plays, answer any questions you guys have. Just, talk sports, basically. So make sure to follow me there, Heart DFS. And yeah, let's get into this slate breakdown for today. Nice little two-gamer. I think this is the last slate that there's a two-gamer, unless one of these games goes to Game 7. But we have Boston, Milwaukee, games in Milwaukee. So it'll be a great game. Love Tatum 9-8. I know he didn't play well at Milwaukee last time, or I guess 3 games ago. He did shoot in 4-19, but then he followed up with a nice 55 fantasy point game, and then another 52 fantasy point game as well. So I really like Tatum today, 9-8. I think he's gonna be super popular, but with good reason. Even if he doesn't shoot the ball well, he's still going to, shoot a ton. Shoots a ton of threes, hasn't been shooting from three very well at all the past 3 games. Kind of expect him to bounce back there. So I do really like Tatum a lot today. We'll probably throw him in my core as of right now. Jaylen Brown, really like him as well. It's, you don't really see it too often where Jaylen Brown gets close to 50 fantasy points and so does Tatum. Usually it's just Tatum, at that 50 fantasy point mark. Brown's kind of floating in between 35 to 50. Sometimes he is scoring dependent, but he's been doing well with the peripheral stats. As you can see last game, 26, 8 and 6. So I don't mind going to Jaylen Brown in the spot. 8,200, basically 1,800 cheaper, about 2,000 cheaper. So I know Jaylen Brown's gonna be super popular today. So is Tatum. So I with good reason. Al Horford, huge letdown game. 41 minutes, only shot the ball 7 times. Tatum was shooting a ton, so was Jaylen Brown, so was Marcus Smart. Not sure why they didn't go back to Al Horford, but he still was able to get you 35 fantasy points, basically, with 8 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, a block, 3 steals. So even when he doesn't shoot the ball a ton, he has huge upside just because of the minutes. The minutes are basically 40 plus. And if he is involved offensively, he's shooting the ball well. 4 of 9, 9 of 17, 11 of 14, 4 of 7. I don't really understand why they didn't really feed him more in that last game. I didn't watch it, so unable to, say the diagnosis there. But I don't mind getting back to, Al Horford, 7,200. Maybe he loses a little bit of ownership just because of, the box score watchers seeing that he only shot it 7 times. But I don't mind going right back to the well with Al Horford. Marcus Smart, looks like a good play today as well. 6,100, shot it 11 times. He's going to play 40 minutes. Pretty much know what you're getting from him. Probably going to get you around 12 points, maybe a little bit more if he's hitting his shots. He's going to get you rebounds, assists, some blocks, maybe a couple steals. So at 6,100, he looks like a good mid-range play for today. Robert Williams is questionable. We'll have to keep an eye on this. If he plays, I'm assuming he'd play 25 minutes at most. I mean, he does have upside, as you can see. In 23 minutes, he got you 32 fantasy points. But just with that knee issue, I probably expect them to sit him out. I mean, they don't really need him too much. Obviously, he helps a bit defensively, but 4,900, if he's in, you don't have to play him. If he's out, Grant Williams will probably be moved back into the starting lineup, even though that's where he's been the past 2 games. He's kind of come back down to earth. Of course, when he's become chalk and I have to play him, he gets you 13 and 3. But I don't mind going back to the well here. He'll probably lose some ownership just because of people box score watching, being like, oh, he's 4,600, hasn't done well. But we know with him, he's going to get the minutes. He is a little bit foul prone, especially having to guard Giannis. So, rebounds, assists will, be there. He'll get a couple of each. But it just comes down if he hits his threes. And then if he does, at 4,600, he looks like a decent play. Derek White has been playing well off the bench. He'll probably be super popular again today. 21 minutes, 34, 32. I do think these are a little bit of outliers, but they're going to probably run with the hot hand of him coming off the bench, at least playing, 25 minutes. So at 4K, I do think he can go there, but there's been times where he'll come off and not shoot the ball well, really not look to score. So there is a little risk going to Derek White, but at 4K, with the minutes looking consistent, it looks like, he's probably the best play on the Boston side in terms of value. That really does it for me. I know Dice came in there, played 11 minutes, scored a well, but it's a little bit of an outlier. I think it's just, pretty much, it's kind of a pick and choose on this Boston side. I really like Tatum. I really like Horford as the two main guys for me at the top. And then, White's looking like a good value, played 4K. Milwaukee side, Giannis, 11-9. I mean, you know what you're getting from Giannis. He's going to perform well. About 12K, it's going to be super, super hard to fit him into some lineups, especially if you want to play another star or maybe even 2 stars alongside of him. I don't know if there's enough value today for that. So maybe Giannis goes a little bit under-owned than he usually has, but, no problem getting him. Love Drew Holiday. Once again, his price doesn't move. As you can see, he still hasn't shot the ball well at all. 9-24. He's been like 35% or below pretty much the whole series. So price hasn't moved. Rebounds and assists are basically there every game. Blocks to steals. So really like Drew Holiday at home, 7,900. Yeah, think it's a great play when he's shooting 20 plus times a game. That's what you'd like to see. Middleton is questionable. So actually, no, he's out. Sorry about that. He's out. So don't have to worry about him. Bobby Portis, mentioned him in my last video, how I really liked him, getting close to his normal amount of minutes, probably his normal amount of shots. And what do you know? He gets 14 points, 15 boards, 2 assists, about 40 fantasy points. Talked about him being a great low-owned dart throw play. Yeah, and so I don't mind going back to the well here with Bobby. I do think he's still going to come off the bench, but just with how he played last game, how he's played all season, I do think they're going to need his energy off the bench. I do think you can expect him to play well, even if he doesn't shoot the ball well. They're going to need him in this game today. So really like Bobby. He's probably going to be very popular today just because of his price and the box score watchers, but really like him for today. Brooke Lopez, I mean, he's more of like a dart throw play. As you see, he can get you close to 30 minutes, but if they're playing Brooke Lopez 30 minutes, it's either because he's hitting all his threes or they want to lose. As you saw last game, only play him 20 minutes, they win. Playing Brooke Lopez in this series is just not good. He can't stay with anyone. So really prefer Bobby over Brooke. More of a dart throw play if you want to go to Brooke. Pat Connaughton came up at 4,400. Looks like an okay value play. Score independent sometimes can get you those rebounds, but I think I'd still prefer to go to Grayson Allen. He's coming back to life a little bit. 30 minutes, 3 of 7, 3,800. Got you, some assists, some rebounds, some points. So I don't mind going to Allen over Connaughton just because of the ownership. Probably will still prefer Connaughton. We'll have to see, but like Allen is a value play today. Obviously, he has not done very well this series, but don't mind going back to the well with him there. And then Wesley Matthews kind of had like a peak ceiling game, 9 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal. If you want to jam him in there, you can, but I do think most of the time you can expect maybe like 12 fantasy points at most. So I don't think that's going to help you enough to get him in there. So yeah, a lot of good guys on the Boston and Milwaukee side. Going to be super popular to game stack that game. And let's move on to the Memphis side. I did talk about how I thought there was huge blowout risk in that last game for the Memphis versus Warriors. Little did I know it was going to be the Grizzlies once again basically blowing out the Warriors. It was like 55 points at one point. I think they'll end up losing by 40. So it really doesn't make sense. I think the Warriors kind of took it for granted, thinking they'd just walk in there, hit some shots, and just easily win. But with this game at home, for the Warriors, I think it's going to be a little too hard for Memphis to win the series or win this game. But Jaren Jackson Jr., obviously there's a lot of upside that I talk about. Only shot it 10 times last game in 25 minutes, still got you 42 fantasy points. Went off for 21, 8, 3, and 2, and 1. So yeah, 7K looks okay for him. He's been tasked kind of as being their main leading guy behind Tyus Jones. So if you want to get to him, I don't mind it, but I do think, I will say again, there is blowout risk. I do think Golden State's going to come out hot today and show everyone why they are the best shooting team in the league. So Also, Triple J is also foul prone. I know he stayed out of it the past 2 out of 3 games, but if he gets in foul trouble, it's not going to be good for them. Desmond Bain, for some reason, comes to life when I don't play him. 24 minutes. So if you want to go there, you can. He shot the ball 12 times, which is the most in the series for him. So maybe he's coming back to life. Maybe his back's getting better. So I don't mind taking kind of the dart throw on him. It's just maybe that he injures that back. Maybe they tweak it. He tweaks it. Who knows? So kind of more of a secondary play for me. Same with Jaren Jackson Jr. Dylan Brooks, prices come up. Still shoots the ball terribly. If you want to go there, you can. 6K is an okay price for him. Would rather still get to Tyus Jones, 5,700. You're going to do a little bit of everything. He's been shooting the ball unbelievable. So, the assists and the rebounds are pretty much there. It just comes down if he's hitting the shots. He has the past 2 games, 5,700. So, do think he looks in a great spot once again today. Steven Adams looks like an okay play. Should see probably 20-ish minutes. Has done well the past 2 games when he gets run, but I think this might be one of those games where he plays like 15 minutes at most just because Golden State's just running them off the court and hitting all their threes. So more of just like a dart throw play for me. Kyle Anderson, back-to-back decent games, 20 minutes, almost 28 fantasy points. I just don't think it's going to be sustained for him to be putting up basically like 2 fantasy points per minute. But at 4,300, I guess you could take a shot there. I don't think I'm going to chase it. Would rather get to D'Anthony Melton. 25 minutes, he shot the ball 11 times, 25 fantasy points. Once again, I think if anyone in the starting lineup is shooting the ball bad, D'Anthony Melton's going to come in and try to give him a scoring burst. So I really like him. Really like Brandon Clark as well. Only played 14 minutes, but if Triple J gets in foul trouble, Brandon Clark's going to come in and play a good amount of minutes. He is small enough and quick enough to be on the floor to where he's not hurting the team. So I really like him. Zaire Williams should see maybe 15 minutes, a little bit more, obviously, if the game blows out, but looks like an okay value play at 3,500. And that really does it for me. It's pretty much really like Clark, Melton, and Tyus. And then if you want to take a shot on one of their main guys like Brooks, Bain, or Jackson, you can, but I'm very cautious about this game today. Really like Steph, 9,200. You know what you're getting from him. Clay, just more of that. He shot the ball well last game, but obviously they got blown out. So I don't mind going back to him. 7,100. He's always going to be super cheap and super low owned just because of kind of how he's played and how he's kind of like almost the second fiddle. Like he's usually kind of just shooting the ball. He's not going to do 2 rebounds and assists like Steph or Jordan Poole. Really like Jordan Poole today. Of course, the one game I pick him, 20 minutes, 1 of 6. They get blown out. But don't mind running back with him today. Really like him. Draymond looks okay. I know the price has come down, which you do like to see, but he's just been super inconsistent. Maybe it's one of those games today where he gets close to that triple-double. I just really think Golden State's going to step it up. And then the guys like Steph, Thompson, and Poole are going to do really well. And if they do really well, that means Draymond's doing really well with his passing, his rebounding, his assists, So I don't mind getting into a lot of these Golden State guys. Just hope the game stays close. Wiggins looks great as well, 5,600. Obviously, just last game was terrible for all of them. But before that, you could probably expect 28 to 35 fantasy points at 5,600. That's great. Otto Porter Jr. is questionable. Looks like an okay value play if he does play, but we'll have to see. Maybe Kuminga will get some more minutes off the bench if Otto Porter Jr. rests. I'd say you'd probably see about 20 minutes from him. Not going to be too involved offensively. It's just more if you get some fast breaks, maybe some easy baskets. 3,300. I don't mind taking a dart throw on him. Mooney should see about 15 minutes, or Looney, sorry. Don't think he should go there. Did they dust off Damian Lee at all? Yeah, because of the blowout. But yeah, I really like a lot of these Golden State guys. I do think they're going to step up today at home. A lot of them are a little bit too cheap, like Jordan Poole, Steph, Draymond, even Wiggins. So really like them. I think they're going to be a lot lower owned than the whole Boston and Milwaukee guys. So a lot of good value plays today, and just good mid-range plays. I do think the mid-range route is the way to go, just with how everyone's priced. Giannis is priced a little bit too high. I think you don't have to get there. I do expect a great game from Giannis, but I think just there's too many guys in the mid-range route that are gonna have paths to getting you 40 plus fantasy points. So I think that's the best way to go for today. Let's see here. I think as of right now, this is kind of the direction I'm heading. Holiday, run it back with, Holiday, run it back with, where is he? Horford and Tatum. You can also put in a guy like Derek White, but really like Jordan Poole, really like Bobby Portis. So 4 from the first game, and then that leaves you 4,400 left over. Let's see. Could you fit? No, you couldn't fit a guy like Stephen, but then you can fit in a guy like, let's say, Tyus Jones, leaves you 3,700 left over for a small forward and center. You can get to a guy like Kuminga. So this is kind of the route I'm heading towards today for my lineup. Really like Holiday, really like Poole, really like Portis, really like Tatum, and then really like Horford. I think those are the main core for me today. That's 5 people for you guys to build off of. 3 spots. You can obviously shift people around, but this is what I like as of right now. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, comment. Do appreciate all the support, and I'll see you guys later today for an NBA slate breakdown. Peace.